You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva, and knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris. Appreciate y'all for still hanging in there with me, even though I haven't been uploading a lot. So I realized a lot of the reason I haven't been uploading as much as I should is because y'all have to understand editing is very, very time consuming. It's a lot. Editing can take hours. So after really kind of paying attention to other content creators, I realized that a lot of people now are just using a lot of live streaming software, and that's what I'm going to be doing. That way I can share my screen versus having to upload a bunch of documents during an editing process. It's just way too time consuming, and that's the reason I haven't been able to upload. So this is my first time working with this type of software, so please definitely let me know today when this content is completed in the comment section if you liked the software, if my sound was good, if there anything you didn't like about it, please let me know. But this is my new approach in order to stop uploading really good content and getting it out there in a timely manner versus hours of editing. And then, you know, like I said, the hours of editing is already excruciating. YouTube takes forever to upload. I could have finished, I could like post my upload at 1 o'clock on the YouTube, you know, panel, and then it ain't finished till damn, 3 o'clock. Then I have to wait another hour to take that video and wait for it to upload again for YouTube to approve it. So it's just too much of a goddamn headache. So this is the new method in which I plan on using, y'all. So hopefully this works for me, this works for y'all, and that way I can put way more content out in a timely manner. But let's get into it right away, right? First time for everything. You don't know until you try. So we'll find out today if this new method will work. But let's talk about it, y'all. Black mother takes full accountability for her son's untimely death. This happened in Denton, Texas, y'all. A young mother loses her son, unfortunately, in one of the worst ways imaginable that a mother could lose her child. Even though she tried her best to give him a good life, he had already fallen into the entrapment of the gang life. And that, unfortunately, made him meet his ultimate demise. So I'm going to be sharing with y'all a lot of information through screen sharing, because that's the only way I think y'all are really going to understand this whole situation and how devastating it is for a mother to come to terms with the fact that this was something her son chose, and even though she did everything she could in her power to try to teach him better, he still made the choice that his gang was more important than his life and was more important than his family. So let's get into it, right? I'm going to be sharing some screens with y'all, so let's see how this goes, you know. So I'm coming out of here. I'll make sure I'm still recording. Okay, it's still recording me. Just making sure. I hate to do all that damn talking and nothing recording. So, this occurred in Denton, Texas, y'all. Young man by the name of David Tyrone Ball. He ultimately, tragically lost his life in the Mississippi shooting. Okay, so, alright, let me get into this. Okay, so I guess, okay, he's from Denton, Texas, but it happened in Mississippi. David Tyrone Ball III, a resident of Denton, Texas, tragically lost his life in a shooting incident in Mississippi. Known for his warm and jovial personality, David was deeply loved by family and friends. The shooting occurred under circumstances still under investigation by local authorities. David's sudden and ultimately death has left his community in shock and mourning. Born and raised in Denton, David was a cherished son and a friend. He attended local school and participated in various community activities. Well, that's not the activities I heard he was participating in, but I shall go on. His infectious smile and kind-hearted nature made him a favorite among his peers and neighbors. David's family described him as a loving and dedicated individual who always puts others before himself. Obviously, as the investigation continues, the community is rallying around David's family. So, y'all, know a lot of y'all are not Facebookers, but this whole situation, it went viral. Different bloggers have been talking about it, and it's been all over the different social media websites. It's on Instagram, it's on TikTok, and it's on Facebook. So this was a very interesting situation for me, and my heart goes out to this young man and definitely his mother and his siblings. But what really made me want to cover this story was because very rarely do you hear a mother take accountability for her child's actions. It's always, my son didn't do anything wrong. I don't know why this happened. And I have to commend this sister, because unfortunately, it's not enough of black women who really take accountability for their children's failures and their poor choices. It's always somebody else caused it. Well, maybe if his daddy would have been around. Maybe if the public school system didn't fail him. Maybe if the police didn't harass my son, he wouldn't have felt he needed to gain and protect them. Women, and specifically black women, because that's who I involve myself with the most. I don't deal with other races of women. So it's not that I'm picking specifically on black women, but from my small circle and the females I've encountered, whether if they were relatives or from jobs I worked at, a lot of women don't think their sons or their children, period, can do no wrong. Okay? And the relationship that a lot of black mothers have with their black sons in some instances is pretty unhealthy, because you have a lot of these sisters who treat their sons like their husbands, and instead of them being a mother to them, it seems as if they have gotten to this level in which they'd rather be more of a mate. They let this young man run the house. They let these young men run the house, let them say what they want to say, to the point where they can't even get a husband. They can't even get a companion of their own, because men who date these type of women, who got these kind of sons that they treat like husbands, sons, it turns them off, And in some instances, it could come off as very incestuous. You have a lot of black women who cuddle their black sons, okay? And this is the reason why some of these black men are very hyper masculine. They're overly emotional, because they've always been in the presence of a black woman, and they learn to adopt her attitude, adopt her mannerisms, and it follows them. But let's get into this, right? As you can see here on my screen, okay? This is wild. LaToya Washington, which is the mother of the victim. LaToya Washington took to Facebook on Wednesday to mourn the death of her 19-year-old son, Trench Corleone. Then makes his own Facebook, confessed to the killing, claiming self-defense. However, he didn't respond to LaToya's question about why he shot her son in the head. So, y'all, all of these posters that I'm getting ready to show you, just brace yourself, because it just really amazes me how people think social media is the best alternative when it comes to you addressing something, when it comes to you speaking your mind on something, and you can take it for what it's worth. I just didn't feel like this was the time and the place to address it. But however, being a grieving mother, I really cannot knock her. I can't say she was right or wrong. Because sometimes when especially when your son is out there in that life, you cannot reach everyone personally. So sometimes to kill all your birds in one stone, you post things on social media hoping it reaches the person who has something to do with the death of your child. And in this instance, this is what happened. Alright, so I'm going to click on the post with LaToya Washington. Okay, we still recording. Okay, yes we are. Just making sure, right? This is what she posted. I don't know what happened. I was at work. All I know is my baby is gone. I'll never paint a picture like my son was the perfect child because he wasn't. Trey did shit that I didn't approve of. The only thing I got to say about his homeboys that's left behind is get y'all life together. Take this as a lesson learned. And don't let your mama bury y'all. Am I mad? No. Am I hurt? Yes. But you know you live by the sword, you die by it. I begged my baby to get out of the streets. Trey chose a life that wasn't meant for him. As his mother, I don't even know how to take this, but guess what? God had prepared me a long time ago. We've always been the one on the other side while everybody else's family grieved. Lord. Now the tables has turned and it's us grieving. Y'all hug y'all babies. Mine gone. I love all y'all. Take this as a lesson learned. I just talked to my baby. Listen. Oof. What I say. I commend this sister. And you know what? And it's sad because it's still gonna be brothers in the red pill that's gonna be like, yeah, she's saying that for sympathy and empathy. And it's a probability, but I sincerely, and I can't say that about many sisters, but I sincerely believe this woman to really be transparent and lay that on the line, knowing how people are going to judge her, knowing how people are going to ridicule her, especially during a very vulnerable moment in which she's grieving. I have to give props to where it's due. I have to definitely let her know that this right here was very, very big of her. For her to even, you know what I mean, admit and say that my child was not perfect. Y'all know, and everybody knows, ain't too many black women going there. Okay? It's not happening. It's always the white man, or they jealous of my baby, or the police don't like my baby. This woman is not blaming no one for her son's demise. Now, I'm sure she's blaming the man who unalived her son, but for the most part, she is letting it be known. I already knew, because I knew what my son was doing. I knew he was out there. I knew he was wilding out. So, now it's my turn. Karma has now came to pay me a visit. God prepared me. You know why? Because he been wilding out. You go to his Facebook page, you'll see him throwing gang signs. You'll just see the young man was really, really out there. He loved what he was doing. He didn't feel no need to remove himself from that situation. He enjoyed the thrill of it. He enjoyed that life. He really did. She begged him to get out the streets. But we know that as black women, we really don't have a lot of power to influence our sons, especially when it's things that would be of their best interest. The funny part is we can always influence them to do the things that they really want to do, but the things that we don't want them to do, we rarely have the power to do that. And this is why it's so important that mothers allow these fathers to have an active role in these children's lives, and especially their sons. I ain't saying daughters are less important or less irrelevant, but a woman cannot raise a man how to be a man. She can't. I don't care how hard we try. You can't raise a man how to be a man. You can't do it. My bad if y'all saw a little pause in the content. I had to take care of something right quick. I still got to play secretary, so. But get back to the lesson, right? This lets you know that she knew her son was in trouble for a long time. I'm not sure the role of his father, or what she could have possibly did to intervene it from getting to this point. But nevertheless, she was already definitely fully prepared, that her son was not going to be here too long. So let's go to some more posts, right? Now, this is where it gets interesting, y'all. The man who unalived her child decided to post. I don't know if his conscience was eating him up just that bad, but nevertheless, he chose to post. And very rarely do these young black men sincerely even address these, especially in situations like that. You don't see them address, their part. Now, they will do some drill kill rap music about it. They're doing a lot of that now. They're confessing their urders, because YouTube is funny, but they're confessing their urders through their music, and that's how a lot of them getting caught and getting exposed. Even bragging about it through drill kill music, okay? Trench, on the other hand, chose to address it on social media, which was very shocking. So his post goes as follows, y'all. Again, this is the man here who unalived this young man, okay? Y'all gonna paint a bad narrative about me, but the truth will reveal I never had intentions for things to go how it went. Even with me at gunpoint, I still tried to make peace. I'm sorry his mother got to bury her child. I truly am, but it was self-defense. He caused this when it could have been avoided. I never had no problem with Trey. Never. And in that moment, I told him over and over, this. Them ninjas poisoned his mind because they've always been scared to approach me in public on any type of timing. And in the end, they left him. You ninjas ain't do nothing to help him when y'all should have been stopping him. When y'all seen I constantly asked him to leave it alone. Instead, y'all watch from a distance, playing him like a controller, hoping he'll do your dirty work. And truth is, I probably would have died because I ain't no killer. And I ain't never pretended to be. I'm a person known to protect himself. Y'all distance playing him like a... Okay, hold on. Alright, she chopped half of it off. Okay, y'all wanted me to die. Y'all doing me bad on this app when I've never had any intentions of doing no one any wrong. But once again, I'm sorry to his mother for what happened, but I pray she finds closure. I know it'd be hard to forgive him, but I pray closure. I know it'd be harder to forgive. Okay, I guess he meant, I hope she finds closure, even though he knows that she's probably gonna have a hard time forgiving him. But I pray closure is in her first step closer to my daughter, and I truly love you, my dear daddy. Sorry he has to leave you at this moment. So I don't know if the young man went to turn himself in or whatever the case was, right? But of course, black folks, of course, had to come in and add their 2 cents, add more flame to the fire. This is the mother, LaToya Jackson. Baby, let me talk to you. So I truly believe, being that this woman done already accepted the loss of her son, knowing, the circumstances and the environment he surrounded himself in, she probably really wanted to speak with this young man so she can really kind of get some peace and closure and find out what really went down, even though she knows it's not going to change the outcome of her losing her son, right? So somebody decides, Miss Ville, screenshot this baby. He going to jail. That's not self-defense. That's some scary-ish real talk, okay? LaToya Washington replies, who are you? And, okay, she replies back, already done. Like, I screenshotted it, so trust I'm going to, keep my receipts or whatever. So she comes back. And I'm not going to read all of those comments because a lot of different people were saying, it wasn't self-defense. He got shot in the back of the head. And, a lot of people I felt like they was agitating, adding more to the situation. The mother's already grieving. So, social media, unfortunately, gives everybody the privilege to say whatever the hell they feel like saying. And unfortunately, a lot of people just don't have discretion. But anyway, this was a different post that she also posted, I guess, on her Instagram. So she further goes, is the mother of the young man who has been unalived. Y'all let me clear this up. I don't care what anyone is saying about Trey, and need y'all not fill me in on what's being said. I truly don't care. I told y'all I'm not in denial when it comes to my damn son. Preach, mom. I knew the life my son was living. Was I pleased? Nah. Trey would tell you I raised him right. He chose to do wrong. My son made a lot of mamas cry, and I know for a fact. Y'all can say what you want about him. I live in my truth. Yes, ma'am, yes. I knew who my son was. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Many times y'all get up and try to paint a perfect picture. Nope, not I. Trey was my right hand and left. I talked to God, and I told God to prepare me for this, and he did. I told Trey this morning, I guess somebody didn't get the rest of it. Okay, but just in that little bit there, you know, this woman knew what her son was. She talked to him. This is why black mothers need to allow black men, for the ones who want to be there, who care to be there. Put all your personal animosities and, you know, grudges aside, and let these men raise these young men. Women, we can only teach our sons so much. Even with the best of intentions, as black women, we cannot relate 100% to what it's like being a black man. We have an idea, you know, and we've witnessed it, but you still never ever walked in the shoes of a black man to really understand the obstacles they are against out there. With law enforcement, with society, you know, just being able to survive, being able to beat the odds and succeed, getting rejected, and you know, pushed to the back because you don't have the complexion for the connection. Just like as black women, it's a lot of shit we go through that a lot of black men can't understand, but yet they choose to disrespect us and drag us through the mud and constantly make us the topic of the red pill community. You have a lot of sisters who do the same thing. They not understanding. As a black woman, we cannot truly understand or comprehend what young black men go through. Only thing she was able to do as a mother, within her own strength, within her own wisdom and knowledge, was to try to talk him down and make him understand, baby, this ain't the life you want. These same friends you think that's your friends, they not gonna be there. And showing up, even his murderer even co-signed and said that, how his friends pushed him up, how his friends kept poisoning him. And you know that's what street dudes in the street. Man, you soft, man. You gonna let that ninja get away with that, man? Man, you know, I ain't gonna never talk. I ain't never gonna have no respect for you. How you let dudes up there and try you? You have a lot of messy, moisturized dudes out here that bust a nut off of seeing other young black men meet their demise. You have a select few that say, nah, man, chill. It ain't even worth all that. I'm going to come off of this right quick, y'all. You have some black men that will try to school other black men and say, nah, man, it ain't worth all that. Let that ninja have that. I want you to live and see another day. You have a lot of poisonous black men, young black men, in some cases older black men, who try to poison other black men versus encouraging them to do the right thing. Now, it's even more pressure when you're a young black man, because even as a young woman, we go through what's called peer pressure. You're already trying to earn the approval. You're trying to earn the respect of your peers. You want them to look up to you. And see, once you have decided that that is the life you want, you have to constantly prove yourself. And Trey, unfortunately, once them ninjas got in his head, man, you need to handle that. Man, you need to get that. The dude even said He said it himself in his post. Lot of other ninjas, they did not have the balls to approach me or come and handle me themselves. So they kept pushing him up. And you know what? That is what's happening a lot. And I wish a lot of black men will understand. It's not just black women that are trying to take down a black man. It's black men that are trying to take down other black men. Okay? And some of these OGs, these classic dudes are the most advanced street young dudes. They know how to pick up the weakest soldiers. All due respect to Trey, not to disrespect his mom, but they knew that it was not going to take much to influence him to come after the guy Trench, and we'll go back to that. That is what they're doing. They are influencing, the young dudes who they know so badly want that street cred, want that street rep. Yeah, man, if you go in and handle that, man, you gonna be solid, man. You gonna get a lot of respect. Basically, they knew Trey was about that life, and because he was about that life, he wanted to prove it. But it backfired because he tried the wrong one. Now, a lot of people in the post were screaming self-defense, 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 right? And we're going to also go to that. Because the young man was shot in the back of his head, okay? But this is another way to look at it, We don't know. Like I said, I wasn't there. I'm just speaking hypothetically. I'm also saying anything I say in this content is alleged and based off of my opinion. Nothing is actual factual. I'm only sharing information from multiple sources. So everything is alleged for entertainment and educational purposes only. This is my disclaimer. All right. So, he said indeed that him and Trey never had any problems. Okay. And what Trey did was he let some no good ninjas talk him up into coming after this man. Now, if this man shot him in the back of his back or his head, allegedly, like they said, it could have been one of them instances that maybe he was popping junk as he was walking away and turned his back. Yeah, man, next time I see you, I'm a blah, blah, blah. Because maybe he didn't have the balls to really pop him. But he did make a threat, trying to prove his masculinity to his no good ninja crew. Yeah, man, I'm going to F you up. Next time, lucky I'm going to let it go, because next time, I'm going to get you. And who's to say dude was like, oh, hell no. He going to make a threat like that to me? I got a daughter. I got family. Soon as he turn his back, pow, pow. Like I'm saying, I'm just speaking hypothetically. Some people not going to wait for you to come and get them. Some people not going to say, oh, because I don't want to look like, I was defending myself. I'm going to wait till he approach me and look me in my face and pull out my 9 and then I'll defend myself. In this day and age, you got to be proactive. You can't even blow off threats anymore. You can't even play with threats anymore. It could have been a situation in which the man felt like if he did not get this young man first, this young man was going to get him. He already said, his friends was poisoning him, getting in his head. The murderer said, I kept saying, let's leave it alone, man. Let's squash it. But he let his crew control him. Playing him like a controller. Using him to do the dirty work. And you got a lot of dudes that are doing that. Allegedly, didn't rapper Boosie get one of those young dudes, the dude to go handle a situation for him, and the young man is doing life damn near while Boosie out here living a good life. I like Boosie. He's funny as hell. I mean, I can listen to Boosie talk all day, but that's another story. But allegedly, I heard he got one of those young dudes to put in some work. And these young men be wanting to prove they got street cred, they're trying to earn street cred, and it's this false sense of masculinity that if I prove I'm about that life, ninjas will respect me. And who better to carry out the dirty work than to get a young, immature ninja who's thirsty for street homage and street cred to prove himself. Hey, if you want us to, you know what I mean, accept you or look out for you, hey, you got to put in work. These young black men could have a loving family, a loving mother, not want for anything materialistically or emotionally, but yet they still want that street cred. They want street cred more than they want their mother's love. They want street cred more than they want their father's wisdom and knowledge. They want street cred more than they want to be here for the younger siblings who look up to them. Now this young man has lost his whole family. Now looking into, not only that, he lost some homeboys. You know what I mean? So this is him during the time in which they were grieving over the loss of a friend of his.
The pain that you felt, your nigga, put that gun down, you got hands, you don't need that pimp. He said, the way I live is...
And like I said, this is the era in which young men want to belong to the streets. They want that street love, they want that street cred. Now, they constantly witnessing their homeboys being unalive. They constantly witnessing their ops being unalive. And yet, what do? They make kill drill music about it, expressing their pain or expressing how they gonna get the ninjas back. And yet, they still don't feel the need to change, not even getting in that situation. Now, this is her and her son again. Handsome young black man. This somebody could have been a lawyer, could have been a doctor, could have, owned his own car wash. Could have been a clothes designer. No telling what it could have been. A lot of young men that are getting killed, unalived, they have a lot of potential. Okay, this is somebody else's son here, y'all. So, a lot of his family, his aunt grieving for him. They did lay him to rest July 15th, y'all. So I'm going to go to his mother's main page. Where's his mom's main page? Okay, right here. Definitely, y'all. This is a lot. Okay, so, alright, so you have a lot of people on her page. Basically showing her empathy and sympathy. A lot of other black mothers who also lost their sons due to gang violence. She said, a lot of them are showing empathy. There's a mother on here saying how she lost her child and she can understand her pain. There's so many black women that are losing their children. This is Trey once again. She's still grieving. So, she's posting a lot of pictures of her sons. And that's sad because he got siblings. So, going down some more. Again, more prayers. This is his casket, y'all. We have to allow these black men to be a part of our black sons. I'm telling you. And it ain't no guarantees, even if their fathers be in their lives, that, they're not going to get hurt or something isn't going to happen. But it's less chances. Who wants to go through this? This is what these young people aren't understanding. Okay, he has a custom-made basket. But the crazy part is, it's still going to get the same dirt thrown on it as a plain casket. It's sad. It's just, the priorities of the black community is just totally dysfunctional. But yeah, as you can see, y'all, she's posting a lot of pictures of him. That, and all that comes with grieving. So I can totally get that. Now, y'all, I'm going to share another video with y'all. Make sure this thing's still recording. Okay, it's still good. I don't trust the software, so I got to check in sometimes and make sure I ain't talking to myself. Now, I also want to share this video of another grieving black mother as well, who also lost her son. So we're going to show you that also, hopefully. Okay, is this the right one? I want to make sure I'm showing the right one, y'all. Okay, grieving mother. Okay, yeah. All right, so this is another black woman who lost her son too.
Okay, everybody want to know what happened to my son. But my son was living the wrong life, you know. I talk to my kids like they act, you know. You act grown, I'm going to talk to you like you're grown. You know, we ain't going to play both roles. You're going to be the child and you're going to be the adult on this day. No. I told my son back in August to turn his life around and give it to God. I raised my kids up in the church. I was at home at night with my kids as they got older. I teach my kids right from wrong. I don't uphold them when they wrong. I talk to my kids all the time. And I told my son last year. My son was in jail last year, you know. Actually, for Mother's, and I was looking for him. He didn't call for Mother's Day. And I'm like, where's Toya? And I was worried. I said, Lord, please don't let nothing happen to him. Lord, please let him be okay. I was begging God. He finally called. You know, and I thank God then. I said, well, Lord, you know, he's somewhere I don't want him to be, but I know he's okay. Got some little trouble there, you know. He had to stay in Indiana for 3 months. You know, he was on Facebook doing stupid stuff while he was in jail. Then I told him, don't post nothing else on there. You know what I'm saying? This is what got you here, being ignorant. My son was very, very smart. When I say very smart, he was very smart. He knew it. My son been on the honor roll student his entire life. He went to college 17 and 18. He was on the dean's list. He was a remarkable student. He was a remarkable young man. But my son got involved in his gang life. God gave him a gift of rapping and I hated it. I had to understand that it was a gift from God, but it was other ways of using this gift. I was trying to get my child to see. My child rapped about his life. You know what I'm saying? Everything you hear YNIC 2 times rap about, that's the stuff he did. He lived that life. You know what I'm saying? My son could rap, but I didn't listen to his music because I didn't like the things he talked about. My son was robbing, drug. I just wish my son would have repent. He gave his life to God like I did. I prayed with my kids every day they went to school. I prayed for them. I did everything I could. I sent him to college. His cousin was living in Virginia, Maryland. I sent him to Maryland. I was just trying to get him to see that it was a broader life out here than way he was living. But here I am today, 2024. You know what I'm saying? My son gone. He ain't coming back. I told him, you know what I'm saying, you live by that sword, you die by it. He did. He thought these so-called friends was his friends, you know, glorifying this gang life. You know, I'm going to live for my five, I'm going to die for my five, but where's five at? Where they at? You know what I'm saying? Where they at? But hey, this is the life of a single mother, you know what I'm saying? I moved where I was. So his dad could be a part of his life, so he didn't have no excuses that he couldn't be a part of his life, you know what I'm saying? I can't force nobody to be a father or to grow up to be a parent. I grew up to be a parent because my mama told me there was going to be mama babies and daddy babies, and guess what they was? They was my babies and daddy babies. Daddy did what they wanted to do when they wanted to do it. But ask me, did that stop me? I go hard for mine, you feel me? I go hard. I'm a licensed barber. I'm a licensed phlebotomist. I'm a certified teacher. I'm a certified bondsman. I'm a certified bartender. I've done everything I possibly can do to take care of mine, so I ain't got to ask nobody for nothing but God. I don't mind working on my own car. I don't depend on nobody but Jesus. And I put that in them and instilled in them to not depend on nobody but God. But they got their own choices in life. But as a mother, I'm going to continue to pray and I'm going to continue to trust God. I ain't angry with God. I'm angry with my child. Because I told my child, don't let the devil trick him. Don't let these so-called friends rub off on him, and they rubbed off on him. But this was not my child, and I told him that. I just wish I had an opportunity to change just to see him get his life right. But Lord, I thank you for the 20 years that you gave me. I wish things were different, but they're not. Just ask you to keep giving me the strength to get through it, Lord.
that was a lot, y'all. I had to hold back some tears on that one. Just the reality of just knowing that you see your child just out there in a world that you know is going to devour them like wolves. And the fact that they are so relentless, so rebellious, and once they allow once validation becomes more important to them than the wisdom and the knowledge that you put in them, validation from the streets, it totally defeats anything that a mother could possibly do. This mother here lost her son as well, and basically, from what it sounds like based off of her narrative, is that she did not intervene in the father's being there. And in some instances, and I'm not saying this is the case with all black men, but some black men just do not want to be fathers. I'm not talking about the ones who are active, who got baby mamas that are constantly abusing, the power and their rights, and intentionally making it difficult for the man to be there. But for the women who do want these men to have an active role, you cannot force anybody to be a parent who don't want to be a parent. So they put you in a position in which you got to be mother and you have to be a father. And basically that's what this woman did. She realized, I got to do this. She took on several jobs to feed and provide for her family, and yet that was still not enough to make her son understand, my mother needs me, my mother loves me, she cares about me. And sometimes as black women, we really have to learn to stop coddling our sons. I'm not blaming these women here in this case, but some of y'all out here know y'all got sons that are throwing up gang signs. You see it on Facebook, you see them on YouTube, you're hearing them do that kill drill rap music, and yet you walking right past it because you don't want to be bothered with it. The truth is, a lot of women out here that have created monsters, and because the monster done got too hard, out of control, they just done walked away from parenting. A lot of mothers just have given up, on teaching or getting involved. They've given up. Some have given up because they have tried, they did the right thing, and the son just decided, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And then you have other mothers who y'all kept y'all titty, y'all let y'all son suck on your nipple too long. Now that's time for him to be a man or to make manly decisions. He don't know how, because you always coddled him, you always babied him. And this is why it's very important for these young black men to have some type of male figure in their life. If the baby daddy ain't there, let your brother, let the uncles be there, let your fathers, if the good Lord blessed you where your father's still living, you got to allow other black men, to lead your sons, your nephews, because black women, I'm sorry, we're not men. We don't know what it takes. We can do the best we can, but we are not men. It takes a man to raise a man. Period, point blank. And for those mothers, listen, I know a lot of mothers, want to drag this lady. How dare you talk about your son like that? How dare you disgrace him? Look here. When you know in your heart as a black mother you've done all you could possibly do, you can get peace with it. You can get peace with the situation. You can get peace with the loss. Now, this doesn't mean as a mother you're not going to hurt from it. And you're not still going to grieve from it. But when you know you've done all you could possibly do, there's an undeniable peace that you have in your life that a lot of outsiders are not going to understand. That's if you're a good mom, if you're a good mother. Let me tell you who the ones that be falling out in the church, about to fall out over the casket, about to fall. Them the mothers who most of the time knew they ain't did shit. Who knew they saw all the red flags but kept ignoring it. The ones who want to blame the law, who want to blame the streets, those are most of the time the ones that nobody can never tell them nothing any goddamn way about their son. Knew their son was trifling. Knew their son was in gangs. Know your son posting pictures with guns, with weapons, throwing gang signs, and yet you don't understand why they took your baby. This woman understood the assignment. And for that, God is going to give her peace. I believe God is going to see to it that the person who unalived her son, he's going to get punished for it. Because God leaves no lost unanswered for those who really trust in him. This mother is going to get the justice she deserves. Not because her son did right, but because she's a praying woman and she trusted in God to fight her battles. She's not doing like some of these hood mamas up here. I know y'all shot my baby. Don't worry. We coming after y'all. I'm going to send somebody to come after y'all. She said, my son made other mothers cry. It's my turn. Y'all up here crying and rolling over at your son's funeral, knowing he left here with bodies on him. True story, I got a relative right now, and I won't say no names, via marriage. Her son was about that life. He was a part of another young man's demise and got away with it. Got bond, got out, was able to go home. And let me tell you something. His mother celebrated that like he graduated from college. She didn't feel bad that the other family was grieving that they didn't get the justice. She didn't feel bad that her son did it. She picked her son up from that jail when they released him and said that they're not going to charge him for it. She picked him up like she was picking him up from the grocery store. Didn't say, all right, son, God gave you another chance. Get your life right. No. Had no remorse for what the other grieving family was going through. Till 3 months later, your son got unalived in a car accident. Nobody took his life, but his life got taken. And see, it's more than one way for God to get his point across. And he had to use somebody else to unalive him. Now you grieving because he was your oldest and your first, but you ain't had that same amount of compassion and empathy when your son was involved in somebody else's son's death. It's very funny how when the shoes on our foot, we want empathy and sympathy, but you didn't have it when your son was on the other end of that trigger. And these are the main ones that would get on the news, scream and holler, my son was a good son. My child was a good child. This woman here said my child was not perfect. He lived a life I told him not to live. And for that, I can respect that. Because accountability is a disease that the black community is failing from to this day. You got black men and black women, particularly so black women, who will not take accountability for their sons, for their daughters' failures. So in this instance, to both of these grieving mothers, my heart goes out to them. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think about this whole situation at hand. Again, my heart goes out to all of the individuals affected. Big ups to the second grieving mother. The fact that she, was preparing her son for the funeral. I could only imagine mentally what she had to go through. But like I said, when you see your child is in danger and you warn them, you talk to them, and things happen, you can have peace in your heart with it because you know you did everything you could possibly do. So anyway, y'all, let me know what y'all think about this content. Also, let me know what y'all think about the software. If my audio was good, did y'all like the fact that I was able to go back and forth with sharing the screen? Let me know, because if it works, I am going to do this. All that uploading and all that other stuff, I got to kind of peel back on that because, again, it's too time consuming. But I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me, hanging out with your girl, your diva of knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Take care.